We are all born into this world as unique individuals, each with our own set of beliefs, experiences, and dreams. It's these differences that paint the world with diversity, yet it's also these differences that often divide us. What would happen if we embraced those differences as gifts rather than obstacles? When we look at the differences between us, we often find discomfort. But what if those differences were windows to understanding? Each perspective, each feeling, each thought adds to the vastness of what it means to be human. We live in a world that constantly tells us to find common ground, but it's in the spaces where we diverge that the most profound growth happens. How can we use our current feelings to bridge the gap between us and them? Thoughts and feelings are as unique as fingerprints. They define who we are in this moment, but they also have the power to connect us if we choose to listen instead of judge. There's beauty in the complexity of human emotion. Our differences in thought and feeling are not barriers. They're the threads of a larger tapestry that shows us the true depth of human connection. The differences between us are not permanent walls. They are movable fences, temporary obstacles meant to teach us patience, empathy, and understanding. It's in our current feelings where we begin to shift those boundaries. It's easy to focus on how different we are. But what if those differences are reflections of the same truth viewed through different lenses? Can we take a moment to see the world through someone else's view? We are conditioned to seek same mots for comfort, but true connection is found in the courage to step into someone else's thoughts and feelings, no matter how foreign they seem. Our differences can feel like oceans, vast and overwhelming, but like the waves, each unique movement ultimately leads back to a shared shore of humanity. The beauty of life lies in its contradictions. We are similar in our need for love and belonging, yet so vastly different in how we seek them. Current feelings teach us to navigate these contradictions with grace. The more I reflect on our differences, the more I realize they aren't flaws. They're the reasons we have so much to learn from each other. Humanity is a mosaic of differences, each piece telling a unique story. To honor those differences is to honor the complexity and beauty of life itself. When we allow our thoughts and feelings to move freely, we discover that what makes us different also makes us whole. It's a paradox worth embracing. We are not meant to be the same. Our differences are the sparks that light the fire of innovation, compassion, and love. They are not to be feared, but celebrated. Every difference between us is an invitation to understand. Current feelings may guide us toward resistance, but what if they could lead us toward acceptance instead? We often judge the differences between us as weaknesses, but what if they are our greatest strengths, waiting for the right perspective to reveal their power? The beauty of our world lies in its diversity. If we were all the same, there would be no growth, no challenge, no joy in discovery. It's in the moments of disagreement that we discover the depth of our humanity. Our differences are not the end of the conversation, they are the beginning. Feelings of division are natural, but they are not final. Each thought, each feeling is a stepping stone toward understanding if we choose to use it as such. The differences between us are not signs of incompatibility. They are the very proof that we are meant to learn from one another. We often fear what we don't understand, but fear dissolves in the light of curiosity, and curiosity is the bridge between our differences. It's easy to focus on what divides us, but the real challenge is finding what unites us amid the chaos of current thoughts and feelings. In a world of differences, empathy is the glue that holds us together. Without it, we are fragments. With it, we are whole. Our differences are like puzzle pieces. They may not always fit together at first glance, but with effort, they create a picture of something far greater than ourselves. Current feelings often tell us to retreat from those who are different. But what if those feelings are opportunities to grow closer instead of further apart? The contrasts between us are what create harmony in the symphony of life. It's the blending of unique notes that makes the music beautiful. Our thoughts are as varied as the stars, and our feelings as vast as the universe. The challenge is finding constellations within the chaos. The differences between us can feel like insurmountable mountains, but every mountain has a path if we are willing to climb together. We are not meant to mirror each other's thoughts and feelings. Instead, we are here to complement and challenge each other to grow. The differences between us are not a problem to be solved. They are a reality to be embraced with an open heart and mind. Differences are not the end of connection. They are the beginning of dialogue, the spark of curiosity, and the foundation of understanding. When we step back and look at the differences between us, we see a world full of opportunity to learn, grow, and connect in ways we never imagined. Every difference tells a story. Every feeling hides a truth. It's in listening to these stories and truths that we begin to truly connect. In our current world, it's easy to see only the divides. But if we take a moment to sit with our feelings, we'll find the bridges waiting to be built. Differences challenge us to think deeper, feel more profoundly, and live more authentically. Without them, life would be unbearably dull. We are often afraid of differences because they remind us of what we don't know. But it's in facing the unknown that we discover the true depths of connection and understanding. The lines that divide us are drawn by fear, but those lines can be erased with love, patience, and a willingness to see beyond our own perspective. Our differences are like rivers, carving their own paths across the land. While each path is unique, they all lead to the same ocean of shared humanity. In our current state of division, it's easy to forget that differences are not walls. They are doors, waiting to be opened by compassion and curiosity. We often misunderstand differences as barriers to connection, but they are actually the roots of creativity, empathy, and profound growth. Every difference between us holds a lesson, a chance to grow beyond what we think we know. If we resist, we stay small. If we embrace, we expand. When we see differences as something to overcome, we miss their true value. They are not obstacles, but opportunities to see the world through a new lens. Current thoughts and feelings often magnify our differences, but in reflection, we find that these differences are the very essence of our shared humanity. If we were all the same, the world would be monochrome. It's our differences that bring color, vibrancy, and life to the canvas of existence. The tension between our differences is not something to fear, but something to explore. It is the fertile ground where understanding takes root. Every difference between us is a reminder that no one perspective is absolute. Together, our unique views form a fuller picture of truth. We can't deny our differences, but we can choose how we respond to them. Will we build walls or bridges? The choice is ours. Our differences don't define our worth. They enhance our collective experience and make life richer, more complex, and infinitely more beautiful. When we focus only on how we differ, we forget the simple truth that we are all human, driven by the same basic needs: to love, to be seen, to matter. The beauty of being human is that no two stories are alike. It's in the sharing of those stories that we find connection amid the differences. Our current thoughts may tell us to guard against differences, but our hearts know better. They know that true strength lies in embracing what makes us unique. In a world divided by differences, let us be the ones who choose to see diversity as a gift, a chance to grow and evolve together. Our feelings of discomfort around differences often stem from fear, but fear is simply an invitation to learn something new about ourselves and others. When we honor the differences between us, we honor the divine creativity that made each of us unique. It's not our similarities that challenge us to grow. It's our differences. They push us to expand our minds, open our hearts, and become more compassionate beings. Differences can feel overwhelming, but they are what make the human experience so endlessly fascinating. Imagine a world where everyone thought and felt the same. It would be unbearably dull. We don't have to agree with each other to respect each other. It's in that respect that we begin to bridge the divide between our thoughts and feelings. Our current state of division is a test, a chance to prove that we can rise above fear and embrace the beauty of our differences with courage and love.